Welcome to this week's End of Days Update, coming to you from Champaign, Illinois. Such a great time here having this camp meeting. It's Joey Roberts' Generation Summits. They're so fun. You have to come to these. If you're anywhere around Indiana, we'll be the 6th through the 9th here at Granger, Indiana. We start tomorrow night. We've been having such a great time here in Champaign. It's cool to see different streams come together, different ministers all flow together. Everybody wants the people blessed so much. It's so much fun. So we're coming to you each week to look at the different things that point to the coming of the Lord, and specifically the flawless gathering of nations for the Ezekiel 38 war. Amazing how things are set in position for what comes next after we're raptured. You know, the Lord warned us to know this. Remember, He rebuked the crowd only one time, but over and over and over again He rebuked the Pharisees. The only time He rebuked the crowd, He said, hey, you can tell what the weather's going to be, but you don't know your hour of visitation. So it frustrated Him that they didn't know. Why would He want us to know this? You make changes. If you realize the finish line's just ahead, you know you can push a little harder, you know you can go a little faster, and all your training and everything you've done are to do that. Preaching on the coming of the Lord is not an escape theology, it's a hustle theology. And you think about it, Paul talked about the baptism 12 times, the coming of the Lord 52 times. So it's the theme of the book, He's coming back. And I like when the demons cried out, have you come to torment us before the time? They knew Jesus was on a schedule, but He was early. So if demons can know the schedule, how much more the church? So let's pick up with what's happened around Israel. It is remarkably flawless how completely Israel is surrounded by the nations that still want to annihilate it. It looks like America's still trying to get the hostage release extended and the ceasefire extended. And of course, Hamas doesn't want to go with that. There's a real awakening right now that Israel seems like they're going to have to go back into radical battle with Hamas. It looks like they're setting up with Iran. They're getting ready. It looks like all this verbiage, Iran's getting ready to come in to attack Israel from the east. And with that, they would want Hamas's help. So you just got some really, really unusual things coming to pass right in front of our eyes. You had Iran sign an agreement with Russia, a new agreement for missile productivity and missile production. The productivity would be the more advanced missiles. So while we're looking for ceasefires, Iran is looking to do this. I like what it came out in the U.S. saying with Israel. It looked like Israel was getting ready for two preemptive strikes against Iran. Don't be surprised if you wake up the next couple of days and you see some explosions happening in Tehran. Why? The bunker buster bombs finally got released by President Trump so that Israel has what they need to do that. Why are they having to do that? Because Iran is going as fast as it can to get nuclear weapons. And you know, when the minute they get a nuclear weapon, they think they can fire at Israel, they would fire it at Israel. So you have all kinds of things happening. You had an earthquake in North Hollywood this last week. You got all kinds of talk of asteroids. Hard to get into all of it with that, so much of that happening, but the main thing is you've got Gaza doing different things and Hamas doing different things, almost like the war didn't even happen. They came out this week saying it was Benjamin Netanyahu's fault for the October 7th attack. No, it's the group that's around Israel trying to annihilate Israel. Many, many things are being set up right now that, to me, it creates this massive vacuum. Saudi Arabia came out with a $53 billion package to bring peace to Israel. Egypt sending more troops, sending more tanks. We have a peace plan for Israel. Now watch. All these plans come with money and come with territory. The Iran one came in with, and the Saudi Arabian came in with, they want a two-state solution. China chimed in this week saying, you know what it's time for? To go back to the borders of the Six-Day War, and they want a two-state solution. So look at all these nations around Israel pushing for a two-state solution and pushing to correct everything, and that is a doorway for the Antichrist to come on the scene and go, okay, all of these nations, things won't work. We're going to have a monetary system set up for you perfectly, that Israel will be blessed, the Palestinians will be blessed, and we're getting closer and closer and closer for that man of sin to be revealed. Because this is it. I hear a lot of people saying, oh, we've heard all these things before. Never have you had it happening like it's happening right now, pushing for what happened after the Six-Day War. So we're very privileged to see it. So what do? All of this is happening with America coming up with a new hypersonic missile. They touted this last week. It'll go Mach 5. It'll go 1,725 miles, and it'll hit Mach 5. So All the talk of war, amazing, all the talk of war. Well, in the midst of that, the king's about to come back. So we always go back to the scripture. What's the scripture say, what we can look at so we can tell where we are? Israel made a nation in 48. Jerusalem won back in 67. You had the Hebrew language restored. You had the Ethiopian Jews brought back. You had the fertility of the land of Israel. You had the revival of the Roman Empire. You got all these events. You got foxes showing up on the Temple Mount. You got fish in the Dead Sea. You had the Dead Sea turn blood red where Sodom and Gomorrah was last fall on the Day of Atonement. Crazy. 172 different species of predatory birds. The cleanup crew's already showing up in Israel. So you got sign after sign after sign after sign showing us that we're about to see the King. That's the amazing thing. There should be such joy and such excitement. We get into all this because He loves you so much. He wants to bless you, wants to encourage you, wants to strengthen you, because you're about to see Him. Just like in a natural wedding, you'd want your bride to be pretty excited. Well, He wants us pretty excited. So you had blood red moons on Passover and Tabernacles. You had Bethlehem star, all these signs, signals, everything pointing to the return of the King. So what do? Help our local church, help our local pastor. We're more engaged, we're more involved. There's something about preparation for the King, Him wanting every single one of us to be a voice for Him. Doesn't have to be weird or strange, but it can be a warning voice that there's a change coming. What is that change coming? The King of Kings and the Lord of Lords is coming back to the earth. Wow. Let's make ready. Let's make ready to see Him. Let's be soul winners. Let's go for it. Let's see the finish line. Let's accelerate, and let's do what we're called to do in such a short period of time. Come back next week and we'll look and see what China's done, what Russia's done. I'm curious to see what Turkey will do in the next couple of weeks. So all those nations around Israel are showing their true colors. Why? Jesus is about to come back. Have a blessed, wonderful week. We'll see you next Wednesday.
Thanks for joining us today at the End of Days Update. If you'd like to be notified every time there's a new post, just go to the edu at josephmorris.com and subscribe to receive email alerts. If these posts and updates have been a blessing to you, please consider making a one-time donation to help get the message out, or even becoming a monthly partner with Joseph Morris Ministries. Thanks again for tuning in to the EDU, and we'll see you next week.